Mr. Yacenyuk, thank you so much for joining us. The world has been horrified by the images coming out of Bucha and Kramatorsk. President Zelensky, however, has said that other cities have suffered even worse atrocities. Have we not yet seen the worst of what Russia has done?
What Russia has done is the war crimes and crimes against humanity. And you know, Europe can't remember more atrocities since the Second World War and since the tragedy in Srebrenica, in former Socialist Republic in Yugoslavia. So Putin is personally responsible for this, and his so-called military, that's not longer a military, and they are no longer soldiers. This is a barbaric army of just predators, inhumane predators who went after innocent Ukrainian people. They have to be brought to justice.
U.S. officials have said recently that they believe the next phase of this conflict could go on for months or even years. Do you agree?
No one knows. Look, preliminary, we had a number of estimations that Russian military is ready to take over Ukraine in just from 3 to 5 days. It didn't happen. Russia completely failed to reach its primary target, which is to seize capital of Ukraine, and which is actually to take over half of Ukraine. So very strong, durable, and courageous Ukrainian military stopped this barbaric Russian military. So how long it is to happen? It all depends on whether the Western world is ready to ship both lethal defensive and offensive weapon to Ukrainians, and whether the Western allies are ready to ramp up sanctions against Russia every single day, 24/7.
So let me ask you about those allies. In recent days, we've seen EU leaders, we've seen leaders from the UK. Just today, Boris Johnson visiting with President Zelensky in Kyiv. Some countries and organizations have also announced they're going to be reinstating their diplomatic presences in Ukraine. Do you believe the United States should follow suit?
Look, the US is a flagship. And I really commend the efforts of the President of the United States and bipartisan support of American people to protect, defend, and support Ukrainians. What Putin didn't expect, he didn't expect this kind of unity among the Western world. He was thinking that the Western world is actually completely split, fractioned, and that the Western world is not ready to stand our ground, ground of our freedoms and values of liberal and free world. Boris Johnson, he just paid the visit to Ukraine. This is not just a show of solidarity. This is an act of solidarity. And let me once again reiterate that the unity of the Western world and very strong support of the United States is one of the key focal points of strong resilience of Ukrainian people and Ukrainian army.
But do you think the United States is doing enough? Do you want to see more weapons from the United States? What weapons would be most helpful? And again, should the United States be next to send a delegation to Kyiv?
Well, as far as I remember, a few days ago, House Intelligence Committee sent a letter to the President of the United States with a comprehensive list of the defensive and offensive weapon which is needed for the Ukrainian military. And I strongly believe that after the US Senate passed already a Land-Lease Act, Ukraine will get everything that is needed for Ukrainian army to win this sacred and righteous war. Once again, the US is doing what is needed, but my appeal to the United States and to the entire Western world, please do more and please speed up this process. The most, I would say, challenging issue is sanctions. The US and our European allies have to impose secondary sanctions. And what we know for sure is Russia trying to evade sanctions, to circumvent sanctions, using different backdoors channel, including China. So it's important for the free world to press on China, India, and then other states not to support Russian aggression and to be on the right side of the history.
Former Ukrainian Prime Minister Arsenій Yaценюk, Thank you so much.
Thank you.